Boxsesh. 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 Boxsesh.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Mac,
My name is Jay,
and welcome to another episode of Boxsesh.
and if you haven't noticed, we got something new that we're trying out. We brought in some cameras.
Cameras! What's up, man? And also, we got our producer right here joining us for the episode.
What's going on?
You can see him on the camera. Woo!
Yeah.
Looking at all the cameras over here. And guys, for today's episode, it's kind of a curveball. We were supposed to have a brainstorm episode because we usually release our episodes 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
And we were going to release it next week, but I watched something. I watched something on TikTok, and it really I was like, damn, maybe we should do this now. And I watched this little clip on TikTok, and it was this guy, and he was in like a Walmart or something, and he was handing out flowers to dudes. To
Oh, wow.
He's like handing out flowers to other bros. And I'm like, what? That's cool. And he hands out this flower to this guy, and he's like around his family. And the guy's like, he's like, hey man, here's this flower for you. And the guy's like, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. God bless. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then the lady's kind of like, why did he give you a flower? And
Yeah.
he comes back around and he goes, oh, the reason why I gave him this flower is because usually a man doesn't receive a flower until the day he dies at his funeral.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
And I was like,
It's
holy
kinda true.
shit. And then that got me thinking. I'm like, you know what, man? I was like, we talk about a lot of things on our podcast. We talk about, TV.
we have a lot of
music,
fun, We
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's always a good time. We have a good time. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? A lot of good podcasts that I like, they talk about like real shit.
Yeah.
And so like to start it off, we wrote a bunch of questions, and it's kind of like it goes from a list of like easy going questions to like some real deep questions to figure it out, whatever. So the first question, because of the podcast or because of the TikTok, is: have you guys ever received flowers?
Mhm.
Yes.
What? Dude, okay. To be honest, I can't. I'm trying to think in like my memory. Maybe someone's given me flowers before,
Yeah.
but
Oh wow, you haven't.
I don't think so. Because I feel like if someone gave me flowers, I would remember.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like I'm
Oh,
like-
oh,
'cause when I
definitely.
Yeah,
watched it-
because
when I
that's
watched
different.
that guy-
You're not used
Dude,
to
I
that.
was like almost tearing up.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's real. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
different, right? As a guy, it's not something that you usually get.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, it feels different.
When were you given flowers? Tell me, what the hell?
So I know my wife gave me flowers. I don't
what?
remember so when I
Krista?
looked through the list of questions,
Our creative director.
my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave you flowers? What the?
She gave me flowers. I don't remember the occasion, but I do remember receiving flowers from her. So it's something that I need to like dig through my memories to try to remember
got
why.
it.
But I remember, but that's, I think the only time besides, I don't know if receiving flowers is like when we got like Lay's,
Yeah.
for like when we graduated. Is that,
Oh,
I don't
got
know
it.
if that's like receiving flowers in a sense,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's a flower.
You know what?
right?
I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. High
Yeah.
school when we got the Lays.
And that's the only other
Maybe I
experience,
got
but
one
it's
in
in a
college,
different
I'm not sure.
sense, right? It's not like,
It-
it's more of like a congratulations versus like
It's kind
a
of more
cultural
tradition.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cultural thing, more of a
You
cultural
know.
thing than anything.
But that just goes to show that's in their culture to give, whether you're a woman or a male, you receive flowers.
Yeah.
In a sense.
I mean, that's the only time though, because there's no other time where
yeah.
I've
Where in
I've
American
been
culture do
given-
men receive flowers in a cultural way? Where it's like customary.
yeah.
Yeah,
for men to
and
receive
you really
flowers.
don't see that, and it's cool because I've seen things like you were talking about on like TikTok and stuff, and
Yeah.
men receiving flowers, and I think it's something cool that it's different, like,
Yeah, bro, it's powerful because they're like,
Yeah.
what? Because sometimes they're standoffish. We're taught to be like, whoa, feel threatened immediately.
Yeah, and flowers are delicate.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
what? He goes, dude, I don't like men. He goes, no, man, it's not about that. It's just I want to give you flowers.
yeah,
Right.
I have
And
a
it takes
girlfriend here.
delicacy to handle and take care and grow flowers,
And then he explains the whole, you don't get
That's
one till you
great.
die thing, and he's like, whoa.
I received flowers twice.
Yeah, what?
that's
yeah.
cool. Okay,
Wait, is it from two different women?
Why you got us in that? No, listen.
wow,
One-
man, putting them on
one-
blast. That's
one-
terrible.
Just gotta know.
That is
Breaking news.
terrible.
The fans gotta know. Here at Boxsesh.
One time by an ex, just out of nowhere, She just bought me flowers, and it was one of those moments. She said, "Men do not receive flowers enough," and I was totally taken aback. And I mean, I
Like
bragged.
just the most random day.
Oh yeah, just on a
Not a holiday?
Tuesday or nothing.
Okay.
You know,
That
it's
is
just-
fucking cool.
Yeah, it was the greatest feeling of all time. She was so cool for that. And then another time, I was playing cajon, the box drum, for a buddy of mine at a grocery store, actually. But it was like a
Okay.
full-on gig, and it was this grocery store had like a cafe and a bar and stuff. It was really cool.
What?
Um,
Like a Whole Foods kind of deal?
yeah, and so there were
Okay.
these young kids chilling, and they were walking around, and they sat down and got coffee, and they were listening to our music for so long, like a whole hour, that they went and bought us
Damn.
flowers.
Okay, that's
and
cool.
came back. They bought us
Like a little
both
bouquet?
each. And
Wow.
we felt so when we were just playing acoustic stuff, and then as a bonus, a third time, an ex gave me a bouquet of bacon, and asked me to. Over on camera, I guess it's. I guess the reaction.
I know who. That's right.
A bouquet of bacon, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
and asked me to prom or something. Yeah.
Yes. and ask
Okay.
them
It was
to
a
follow.
homecoming.
I remember something like that.
That's a good question, though. I like that. It's a good
Okay.
opening question.
No, no, right?
Yeah.
Well, lucky assholes. Well, guys, if you want to give me flowers, let me know. Sorry. Okay, I have another question. So, phrase it how you will. What are some like simple things that someone's done to you that like really made your day, or like, oh wow, that I really appreciate that, or like kind of like destroyed you? Not destroyed you, but you're like, wow, that really hurt me. Like an example. Let me give you an example. My ex. What we watched a show together. You know, every episode that came out, we watched it together.
Yeah.
One time, she watched the episode without me. And when
Yeah.
I found out, because I was like, oh, let's watch the episode. I go to look at it, and you know where it shows like you watched it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I looked
at
Oh,
it. It
man.
says, sorry, you watched.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't even find out from her?
No.
No, so you found out.
Oh, you
through
found
that.
out from them.
Fuck.
It was one of those. It was
That's
one of those. She
fucked
was
up.
like doing something in the other room, and I'm looking, and I'm like,
Oh no.
That's terrible.
I'm like,
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
X's name. Insert X's name. Did you watch this without me? Yeah. Well, you weren't here.
Oh my.
Are you serious? What's
What
the
do
big
you
deal?
mean?
I can rewatch it with you.
Yeah.
We can watch it again.
There's
I'm
a
like,
thousand
No, I was like,
shows.
that's not the point.
There's a
Yeah.
thousand
Oh,
shows
yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
We watched that show together.
You're watching them like
could've
you're
waited.
watching 9 other shows that you could have caught up on, but you watch the one show we're watching together.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
I would never
You're watching.
watch
nine
that
other
show
shows.
without you. It's a bond. It's sacred.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
to other
awesome.
people that other people it might be very silly.
That's
But
that's
for
awesome.
me,
Yeah.
in that moment, I was like, you didn't just watch a show without me.
No, that's heartbreaking.
You broke my trust a little.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a very light way.
Yeah. I see that.
Not enough to end the relationship, but enough to go, oh, you're getting cocky.
To question the
Yeah.
relationship, right? That's awesome. I can't tell you something that like broke my heart like that, but something that made my heart was a cashier read the receipt, read my name from my debit card, and addressed me as my name as they were saying goodbye. They're like, "Oh, have a good day, Derek." And I was like, "Oh, that was kind of
Whoa.
nice."
yeah.
You know, it was just
Okay.
kind of nice. They took the effort to like call me by my name. I don't know why it felt so good.
No.
but it did.
No, but I mean, it's feel like something's like acknowledge you on a personal level, and they don't know you, and it's like, okay, you know,
Yeah.
they took the time to read my name and kind of,
Yeah, and it was
you know,
busy in there, and it felt
yeah.
like she like took a second.
Yeah.
It felt like someone like complimenting your T-shirt.
yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, that was nice.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think for me, I think of something that like would hurt me in a way is something like, and simple is like if someone were to tell me of an excuse and I find out they post something, you know.
Oh,
You know, like, okay,
hey, bro.
why just not be honest, right?
Hey, bro,
To
I got a
begin with.
flat tire and I can't make it, and then
Yeah.
they're at like a party.
I got a
Yeah,
flat-
and
Oh,
I'm
they're
like,
out
just-
getting like fucked up.
Just
and
tell me the
shit.
truth, you know? I mean, like, hey, I'm not gonna. Hey, we all have stuff that happens. We all want to do different things. Hey, man, go about your things. So it's like, I always find it's like, just be honest with me.
Yeah, bro.
It's not something that I'm gonna say I'm gonna cut you off, but hey, that kind of that kind of hurts me a little bit. Just
I'd
be
rather
straight
them
up.
straight up say,
Yeah.
I do not feel like socializing. I feel like that's a really, as I get older, I find that
Yeah.
that's actually a decent excuse. Hey, my social ability is totally drained right now.
absolutely.
I'm overwhelmed. I
Absolutely.
can't. Okay. There's more days to come. We can hang out on a different day.
Yeah.
Don't keep making excuses that you can't, keep. Like, we're all human. And I do it too. I'm actually really bad at that.
Nah, I feel you, man.
I'm bailing. That's a good question though.
No, but you know what? Going back to that person saying your name, what I will say about our producer over here, DJ D-Lo, every time we freaking go out, he always gets like our waiters' names.
Wow.
And he fucking overdoes it, bro. He says their name all the time.
You know what?
He's
It
like,
makes them
we
feel
have
good.
shout out to our girl Heather at Mel's. Me
Heather.
and D-Lo, we go
You're
to
a real
Mel's.
one,
We go to
Heather.
Mel's every Sunday after church. We go to church in the morning, then we go to Mel's. And we have our waitress, Heather. She's super
Heather
cool.
like yells at us from a
Yeah.
What's up, guys? I mean, she's dope, dude.
super cool.
Like, how
but-
can you not love waitresses? And they have the shittiest job, and people treat them like shit. Like,
Exactly.
I love that. When I was in food service, no one even acknowledged me.
No.
So I
It's a shitty feeling.
learned that. Hey, what's your name, by the way? Oh, hey.
So every time we go out somewhere, dude, he always gets their name.
And now I do it to annoy them.
Hey.
Oh, thanks, so and so.
Yeah, Heather, you're the best. Thanks. Hey, thanks, Heather. You're great. Heather, thanks. Appreciate your help, Heather. Thanks, Heather. I'm like, dude, she gets it. You know her name. Chill. But yeah, so I will say that's very nice of you and kind. And it's true, man. It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
So that's a simple thing. So another question I have, pretty low-key, pretty chill, is who is the most influential person in your life? And then Derek asked me, he's like, overall or like right now? I'll leave that up to you. You
Yeah.
can answer both. You can answer one. Just who do you think right now, or who is your most influential person?
I want to say my most influential person right now is probably my wife.
Really?
I mean, she's been there for me for everything. I think.
And for the podcast.
I mean, for the podcast, she helps me out with everything.
Huge
And I
help.
mean,
Shout out Krista.
Yeah, shout out, Chris.
she's amazing. I mean,
And Jake's talking to her over there.
and I mean, I love her so much, and I mean, she means the world to me. So I mean, I think she's the most. I mean, of course, there's other people, but I think for the moment right now, she's the most influential person
Just
to
like
me.
helping you get on your grind.
Oh my
or-
God, yeah, of course. She's been there since day one. I mean, supported me through everything, and I love her to death. So I mean,
It's nice.
Yeah,
that-
and to
it's nice
shout
have
out
a person.
Krista,
Yeah.
she's been a fucking huge help
Oh,
for the
yeah,
podcast.
dude.
So our social media
Beyond.
and whatnot.
All the stuff you see on the social media and probably the clips you'll see from this is probably gonna be her. Right
Everything
on.
that you guys experience is done is finalized through Krista.
Yeah.
So
yes. So definitely her.
shout out.
Shout out. D-Lo. You have like an overall one, or
That would be.
that would be Krista.
Yeah.
For sure,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. No, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. DJ D-Lo.
Yeah, I like the two-part question. I think in general, I'd say, to be honest, even though I don't have a good relationship with my father, I would say it is my father. I think
I know. And I know in detail the relationship. So when he told me that, because we talked about that earlier, I was just like, don't tell me now. Tell me at the podcast. So I'm very interested to hear.
the older I get, the more I realize that you're the closest ones to you, the ones that know you the best, the ones that you grew up with, those are going to be the most influential to you, the ones from your adolescence. And as I go throughout life and I have these habits and I have these ways of living, whether I like them or not, I realize like I am my dad, and I become more and more like my dad. And if I like things that I like about my dad, then I'll keep them. But if I don't, then I'll learn how to break them, But when you say influential, that's just the truth, whether I like it or not. He was very influential on me.
Yeah.
But as for now, I'd probably have to say MC Stevie G. He's the day one. He's number one homie. We hang out almost every day. We're always together. He's been like a role model to me. He's been there for me through my toughest times.
Yeah.
We're working on a lot of projects together.
Hella projects.
Yeah.
dude.
So we make sure we're on each other's grinds and whatnot. We hold each other accountable.
That's true, man. And nowadays, man, nowadays men need each other
Oh,
to
yeah, of
hold each other
course.
accountable,
Yeah.
bro. And
Yeah.
you know what, bro? I had a situation, man. One of my buddies, unfortunately, you know what? It just, he's not here no more. And it's just one of those situations
Yeah.
where, dude, and we've talked before, and the thing is that the topic only really comes up when you're knocking down some beers together, and you're getting fucked up, and that's when you open up, bro.
Yeah.
And you have these moments with these people, and we all shared a moment. We were real with each other, and we all struggle. People, they're
Oh, yeah.
behind closed doors, and he was such a good guy, like he always there for you. He's someone you could rely on, someone who was you knew, you knew him,
Yeah.
Jay. Just a good friend of ours, but
Things happen,
know.
man. Sometimes, and it's crazy because it's really is something that I think it's definitely coming more in light now than it did before.
Yeah.
Is stuff like that, and it definitely makes you think and appreciate things, especially people, because
Yeah.
you never know. You never know what could happen tomorrow or the next day, or you
Exactly.
could, anything. We're lucky to be alive. We're lucky to wake up the next day and do something and try to make something of this
Yeah.
time that we have here.
And it shouldn't
so,
be a freaking special occasion to show love to your freaking brothers. Like, I can tell
Yeah.
you guys, I love you guys. It's like growing up, I love my family, bro.
Yeah.
And they're solid. They're good, solid people, bro. But we never really explained, like, we never really talked about emotions all the way. It was more like, I learned a lot from my mom about trust God, love God. God's amazing, beautiful. And I'm glad I learned that, bro. It was very influential
Yep.
in my life.
Yep.
And for my dad, it's like, be tough, get things done. You have to, you have to work hard. You have to succeed. And then like this and that. Awesome. But there's a lot of the in between of like, well, how do I process being sad? And how do I process being alone? And how do I process that? It's just like, hey, just suck it up. Come on, be tough.
They showed their love more than they
Yeah.
explained their
Yeah.
love.
Their love
Yeah.
is, I remember one time, but my pops, and I remember one time I was just like, you don't tell us you love us.
Yeah.
Like we had that moment where I was like, you don't tell us you, like, why don't you say you love me? He goes, I show you I love you.
No.
Yeah.
Everything I do is because I love you.
Yeah.
I work so hard for you guys. Shout out to my dad. He works crazy hours, bro, to provide. And never once in my life did I feel like we were family struggling, this and that, I felt like I was given everything I needed to succeed and to grow and to be the best person I could be. It was up to me to make the decisions.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful that they provided the opportunity to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Your dad is a really hard worker. And it's hard for us to realize until we're older that things like putting food on the table and putting a roof
Yeah.
over our head, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And there's kids who just they
Yeah.
don't really have that.
Which leads to my most influential person, who is my dad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it's like you learn, I'm like, I know my pops loves us. He's a good man. And nowadays he's more expressive of it. I just think that when we were younger, he's like, I have to be hard on these kids because they need to learn, they need to grow, they need to be productive people of the US,
Society,
of
yeah.
where we're at.
Yeah.
So
He was just doing his best. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
all you can do.
He's the most influential person to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's things that he's done that I'm like, I've learned to like, I'm gonna do what you did. Like there's a lot of things I learned from you that I'm like, I'm gonna teach my kids that.
Oh yeah.
But then there's things I'm like, but I'm also gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learn and you refine.
Yeah.
And you come up with your own way, but you learn from a base. We learn from somewhere.
Yeah.
So
another question that we had was, what's something you would tell your younger self? And I'm thinking like 13, bro. Like you're just about to start high school. What would you tell that guy?
put all your effort into everything. School,
Yeah.
sports, don't half-ass it.
Just anything you were doing.
Put 100%. I was a person that just kind of, I love playing sports. I love that, but I just showed up and played.
You know what? Jake was good. You're one of those that was good without trying. And if you tried, you would have been fucking.
Oh my God. I think about it all the time. And
Because he was good. You
I
were good.
love playing football. I love playing sports in general. And I was just loved athletics. And I think, you really, that's what I would just tell myself. If I could go back, I'd just be like, dude, just 100% put everything into it, and just give it your all,
Yeah.
because you can go. I think of the possibilities, and other things, and I mean, could have been so different with certain stuff, But I'm glad I finally learned to pursue things.
Yeah.
But it took time. I wish I would have known that then.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe change the story, but it's happened for a reason, right?
No, of course.
But definitely that's something I tell my younger self.
Absolutely.
Put all your all into it.
Let's go, man.
I said the exact same thing.
There you go.
No shit.
I said to work harder. 2 words. Work harder. And like I'm a hard worker, but I didn't direct my energy in the right spots.
Yeah.
And I wasted a lot of time just trying dumb things.
Yeah.
If I had just worked harder and smarter,
Yeah.
then I would have been in a better place.
Yeah. No. Exact. And it's all stuff that we've reflect on later in life, and that's just kind of part of life, right? You learn, but it's like I wish I would have known that then.
Right.
You know?
And that's just being part of human. It's just
Yeah.
making mistakes. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest thing to tell young people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're gonna
Make
fail.
mistakes.
Yeah.
You're gonna
just-
fucking hate
fine.
yourself,
I know.
buddy.
and it's funny you
Get
say that, right?
ready.
Because I listen to like these motivational speech type things, and
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
one with Denzel Washington, and he's talking at a graduate. I forgot what college it is. He's talking at a graduation ceremony,
Oh, I
and
think I've
he's
heard that
talking
one.
about
I think I've heard that.
failing, but it's you take fail as not falling back, but falling forward. You learn
Like
from
an
it, right?
experience.
That's a
you
good
know, because
quote.
you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that-
you have to.
to progress in life, that's how you do it. You're gonna
Yeah.
fail at some point, and you can't expect everything to just be perfect.
Right.
There's no way. If that was the case, all of us would be successful.
I think learning
know.
a good song on an instrument, you're not going to play it perfect the
Oh
first
no,
time.
no.
You're
Yeah.
going to make a million mistakes.
Oh my god, until you perfect
and you
it.
can't be afraid of risk.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, I'm scared. I don't want to fail.
Yep.
Dude, fail, and fail again.
Yeah. Yeah, and keep going.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. Hell yeah, I like that.
It's good. It's a good
For me,
question.
something what I would tell my younger self was just fucking be you.
Yeah.
I felt like I was too focused on trying to fit in with certain crowds
Yeah.
instead of just being like, I want to be friends with everybody and just be like, and not care. I was too worried about what people thought of me.
Yeah.
Of course.
And that I wasn't like I wasn't like an asshole. I hung out with the athletes, with some of the football guys and whatnot, and that wasn't a problem. It's like it was what it was, but I was just afraid to be like super dorky and super. I felt like I was a little more reserved in high school.
Yeah.
I was louder than you,
Yeah.
but not like what I am now.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, especially. Yeah, I was
Especially.
pretty reserved back in high school.
Yeah,
and-
just especially Jay. You wouldn't think you'd be doing a podcast right now.
No, not at all. And
Yeah.
it's just it goes to show that you really have to go out of your comfort zone to kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
Once you get comfortable, you're not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that's progression.
Yeah.
Definitely going out. The whole camera thing,
Yeah.
comfort zone, different. But it's like you have to do things. You do
Yeah.
experiences, and you learn from them.
But I was so focused in high school, like on trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure, like
I think
don't
that
know.
was the whole motive of everybody back
Yeah.
then too. It's like you just don't want to be made fun of.
Exactly.
You don't want to be the center of attention in the wrong way.
Was it the pit of the
Yeah.
joke or was
Yeah.
it?
Well, I will say is
was it
where
the butt of the
some-
joke.
Yeah.
Some kids were, introvert and maybe cared what people think because they didn't fit in.
Yeah.
Steven actually had a variety of friend groups.
Yeah.
So you cared what people think because you're always trying to like bounce from friend group to friend group. And I knew how that, because I was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're hanging out. Why do you hang out with these people? Well, why do you hang out with these people? Because I'm kind
Yeah,
of
then,
friends
then
with
the friend groups
everybody.
just start questioning.
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing that? It's like when I was like, I was hanging out with Jay and the crew, and then
Yeah.
I was
Right.
also hanging out with my church friends now.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And then
it
I'm
was
with the
kind of-
skaters and the stoners
Yeah.
and this and blah, 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 all these different, and then
You
the drama
bounce.
nerds and then the jocks and all
Yeah.
these.
And nowadays, bro, like the way I live my life now, bro, is I am who I am,
Yeah.
and I try my best to be the best, bro. I'm no saint. and I fucked up a lot, man. You know, and
Yeah.
my past is not perfect, and I'm learning every day and trying to be my best every day. But
Just gotta
you
keep
know,
moving. Gotta keep learning.
it's very
Yeah.
different than how I was when I was a kid. And I was scared and this and that.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to. I told D-Lo this. I don't stress out with my friend groups.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to reach out to a friend, or if if maintaining a friendship with a friend is stressful to me, because they're always on my case, or they're always
Yeah.
they're always just trying to start fights. There's no need for that friend. I'm too old and too on a certain path to be worried about maintaining a friendship.
This is also really difficult advice to accept at a young age, especially
Yeah.
if you're a click pleaser, like we were talking about. If you're trying to please all these different cliques, and you're a people pleaser, and you want to make sure everyone's happy, the people are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna have to say, well, this friend group or this friend specifically is not. And you know what? If there's a friend in a friend group, you might have to drop the whole group. And that's just
Yeah.
part of growing up. That's some of the hardest shit you're gonna have to do.
And bro, I have cut off groups. I have even as an adult. I've cut off groups
You have
Yeah.
to
from
sometimes.
certain people because just you know what, I don't need that, bro. And if people there's certain people who judged me for things I've done 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm not proud of some
Right.
stupid shit I've done.
If there's people that
You know what
judge
I'm
me
saying?
for things I did yesterday, that's on them.
Yeah.
That's on them.
Exactly, bro. But 5
don't
years
judge
ago, and they're
people.
still hey, giving me a side eye. Side eye. You know what I'm saying? You know, TikTok. But I'm like, dude,
You know,
I'm far
do
too.
know.
I live and I learn. Here's the one thing I can say about myself, bro. I don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
Mm,
When I fuck up, dude, I learn.
second time, shame on me.
J. Cole said
There's
it
usually
best.
no second time, bro. There hasn't been a second time. I fucking learn my shit, you know? Sorry.
good.
I had to throw throw the mic down moment right there. Okay, another one. We're gonna go to level 2 of this. It's called medium. All right. What's something pretty big in your life that you felt like you learned on your own and not from family? Because I felt like a lot of who I am is from my family, but there's some things I've learned outside, from friends or from certain things. Like you heard a talk or something, and it just freaking changed your life. You know what I'm saying?
Personally, I left home at 17, so I learned a lot. I mean, even
Fuck.
dude, I'll just give this answer: cooking.
Yeah.
And when you nowadays, when you can just go to the store and buy a microwave meal, or you can go to Subway or Taco Bell and stuff, that's fine. But when you're just in that scenario where maybe you don't have that money and you just have rice and potatoes and maybe some frozen chicken, and you're like, how do I thaw this chicken? How do I can I eat this right now? How do I
Shit.
Oh,
Always
fuck.
wondering. Is this
you
good?
have
Yeah.
uncooked rice and frozen chicken and you're starving, right? And you're like, oh, I didn't prep this correctly. And so you have to research and learn all this and learn how to keep your body that's a huge thing I learned how to do on my own, is how to fucking feed myself. So yeah,
God damn.
that's my answer, is how to stay alive. That's how I learned. That's what I learned on my own, is how to stay alive.
God damn.
How to
I think for me,
consume
I
protein.
moved out the year after we graduated high
Yeah,
school.
you moved
So
out at 18.
I was 19.
19.
Got my first job in construction, and I learned a lot. I think, and just moving out. I think too. I'd lived.
Sense of independence.
It was, and I think I took advantage of it in a sense. I learned.
As in you're a 19-year-old out in the bay on your own.
Yeah,
With money.
making money, good money, working a lot, and just it was
What kind
kind
of shit did Jay get into?
too much, But I did. I think
Unspeakable.
it's you learn how to try to manage things, and it's with that you don't learn that at home, and in a sense you can, but it's different.
Yeah.
You're in a controlled environment at home. It's not like being out on your own and you're responsible for everything. It's a total different. Holy shit. I have to make sure my tags are paid. I have to make sure my taxes are done every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
And it's you learn that
Mommy
stuff.
and daddy ain't taking care of it no more.
You know, especially if you move out of home. You know what I mean? You're
I wouldn't
expected
know,
to
yeah.
know that stuff, and it's not easy when you're first on your own. I messed up a lot. I learned a lot of things the hard
Yeah.
way, and it's like, but you learn, right? You learn. It's part of learning. It's part of growing up. It's part of getting out there and being a person, becoming someone of society, and it's like you have to go through those things. You know, some people learn faster than others. That's for sure. You know, there's some
Yeah.
people that like struggle. You know, some people learn later than others, but most people come around. You know, they
Yeah.
figure it out. Those people that are really determined will. You know, and it's just you gotta keep pushing. You know,
Yeah.
shit gets hard, stuff gets tough. People wake up not every day wanting to go to the things they have to do. You know, but we all have to survive in some sense and make a living. You know, but it's like I really grasp like reality, as I think is what it was.
Like, this is what
It's
I
like-
gotta do to survive.
and people, the world is not like a forgiving place. It's not an easy place to make it.
It's a fucking wake up call,
Oh my
bro.
God, especially when you're on your own. There is no one to go.
No mommy and
and
daddy there to hold your hand. You're fucking, it's you
You're
in
sitting
the
there
streets.
and you're like, what do I do? You know, and
Yeah.
it's just you got to keep moving forward. So
I think something I learned, going back to it, we'll be quick about this one, but something I learned was how to process my emotions. And that was through, I would say, college, and through the people I've met through college. And then honestly, it was probably one class that really fucking just cracked the case. It opened the seal. And it was one of my communications class. And she was basically talking about, just explaining about, I don't know why, bro. It sounds so simple. It sounds so stupid. When I tell you, it's going to sound so stupid. But the way she opened up about how you have your opinions, right? And I know I'm stubborn as fuck. You got to know who you are. I'm stubborn as fuck. There's opinions, and then other people can have the other opinions, and that's okay. And that's it. But before, like, I felt like I was so stubborn, bro. I'm like, you need to see how, the way I was communicating was, how can you not see it this way? How can you not see it my way? It makes so much sense. But she kind of taught me, instead of saying, how can you not see it this way? You should be saying, how can I try to help you understand this more?
Yes, because I'm a big proponent of objectivism.
Mhm.
And that if someone is going to try to tell me that 2 + 2 is 5 and call it their opinion, you know, then
Yeah.
at that point, I just say, let me help you understand this better. If they don't want to, then that's on them.
Exactly.
That's on
Exactly.
them. And that's when you have
I'd
to
love
learn
to try to
kn-
explain to you.
Yeah, and then that's to come full circle when you not let them affect your emotions. And you just say, okay, you don't
Yeah.
want to understand. Why would I let that get me angry?
Exactly, man.
Just choose
And
to
then-
walk away.
And then I also learned, you know, through my class, like, hey, it's not unmanly to cry and this and that. And I was always like, what? Because, dude, I always try not to cry. I always used to try not to cry.
yeah,
Always. Like, I just didn't feel comfortable. I felt weird. I felt weak. Felt like I was exposed,
That's what we're taught.
you know, crying in public. And then I was like, you know, that's bullshit. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotion. It doesn't make us less than
No.
to
Yeah.
cry at something that makes you sad.
yeah,
You know, so I try to let myself. Oh, like if I'm sad, bro. If I feel like crying, I try to let myself cry. But it's like so instinctual that I'm like, don't cry. I'm like, no, dude, just fucking.
yeah.
So that's something.
Well, one thing I will say, I mean, I'm a very emotional person, but also,
Yeah, you are.
so one
No.
thing I'll tell emotional guys is be careful who you're emotional around.
Yeah.
There are guys you can be emotional around that you can trust,
Exactly.
and then there are guys who just don't give a fuck, and then you know what? They'll make it worse on you, and you'll be like, why did I ever open up to them? That was
Exactly.
the wrong thing to do. So you got to learn when the right time to be emotional is, you know?
And I think that's a freaking excellent point, because like I said, it's a good thing to be emotional and be, you know, feel comfortable to, you know, be whatever. be careful who you do it with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good point, man. Because you also don't want to leave yourself. It's okay to be vulnerable with people. It's fine, like when you're comfortable with someone, to be vulnerable and to tell them your shit. But make sure that person is a fucking got your back. Don't worry.
Yeah. You're not
It
gonna
can't be
tell
some
anybody.
rando. Like for me, trust has developed through years, man. I know, obviously, Jay, my whole life, dude. I've known you for fucking like 10 years now.
Yeah.
You want someone that's not going to judge you, that you can just talk to without judgment. But I will also say this, and we'll get into this, that it's important to not overload your friends and not to
Yeah,
tell
true.
them every single little secret that's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
And we'll get into why. But it's a good question, though.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Another question we have. I thought this was interesting. Is do you think it's important for a young boy, young male to have a male role model?
Mm,
Do you think it affects them differently not having a male role model?
mm-hmm.
I think so.
100%,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so. I think you need some type of person, especially as a male, to show you. I think not in the sense of it's like you have to be this way,
Yeah.
but what it takes to be a good person, a good man to people. I think that is something you need to be shown, and you need a male role model. But
Yeah.
I think I don't know. It's hard. It's like sometimes you don't have that. Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Not I don't know how you say it. It doesn't have the resources to have that.
Yeah.
And it's like it's hard. So there's things out there that do help with that, but I do feel like people need that, especially males. Need some type
Yeah.
of positive male role model in their life to show them what they need to do, how to get through it. Because being any person in this world is being hard, but so is being a man. Just as much as being a woman, it's hard to be a man.
Yeah.
They expect a certain
And
thing
you
out of
need.
you.
I 100% agree with you. Like you need someone to guide you and to kind of just. It's different. Being a man,
Yeah.
like being a man, being a woman. Unfortunately, right off the bat, there's certain expectations of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't have to ask for them. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's tough being a male and having those expectations. Sometimes.
Tell me about it.
But I think it's huge to have a role model for that.
Yeah, there's in the allegory of the cave, Plato describes prisoners as chained to each other and chained to a rock or the wall of the cave, however you want to picture it. And their heads are fixated on the wall. And, the sun or the fire, some source of light is behind them, portraying shadows on the wall. And they see people and they see animals and they see trees, but they only see the shadows of these things. And the allegory goes on to describe the prisons, some of the prisoners escaping and seeing the real world for as it is. But I really truly believe that if you don't have a male role model and you don't have someone to say red light, yellow light, green light,
Yeah.
then you are but a prisoner staring at the wall and seeing shadows and just trying to guess, is that a tree? Is that a rabbit? And it's not until you're actually free that you can confirm and say that is a rabbit. And you don't want to have to experience these things on your own. You want people there
Yeah.
that you can learn from, not just their mistakes but their successes.
Yeah.
I do think it's very important to have a male role model. It's not, there's great success stories of people without them, but
Of course.
they struggle.
You could totally do it without it, but
They struggle.
I think it's important.
And more often than not, you'll watch their interviews, they seek out male role models. It's not like they're like, I'll just do it on my own.
Yeah.
Like some
That's rare.
YMCA Boys and Girls Club kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Unfortunately. So another question we have is, what is something that you want to be remembered for one day in the future? What is it?
Trying my best, being a good person.
Well,
I think that's what I want to be remembered for, but it's hard to do that. You got to try. I don't know. That's definitely something I want to be remembered for, is trying to be a good person.
Oh.
Putting trying to be there for people and stuff. And I've always tried to be that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something I think I want to be remembered for.
Oh, yeah. D-Lo.
Music.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, when I die, people are like, "Well, wasn't that good of a
You do some of his
person, but
shitty tracks.
but he made some bomb ass beats." I think I'll steal. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well, he's a trash producer, but the songs are actually not too bad. What the heck?
There you go.
Yeah, no, music and creativity and the
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff like that. As for now,
If it blows up, TikTok, what's up? I think for me, kind of, it's very similar to what Jay said. I'd like to be remembered as someone who was like a good friend.
Yeah.
Like someone's like, yeah, dude, if I always tell my people, I'm like, if you're good to me, I'm great to you. Because all I need is for friends to be loyal, dude, and I'll fucking do anything for you.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. My circle's fucking tight, bro. It's small.
Yeah.
I have very few people I would consider a real friend. And I know like it's a sense of loyalty there. So
it's huge. Trust is
Yeah.
huge. And once it's done,
so I
it's
want to be
done.
remembered as someone who was like, dude, that motherfucker had my back.
Yeah.
I was going through some shit and I called him.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are good so far. I'll give you another 60 years and we'll reevaluate.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Derek's alright. He's barely on the list. If this was MySpace, he would be. If I had my top 5, he'd be number 6. Boom.
Damn, I'm dead.
Terrible.
Woo! Zinger. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It was loud in the mic.
Tom's my friend.
My bad, guys. Okay. Another question that I thought was interesting. What are your thoughts on therapy? Like, what do you think? Do you think everybody should try it out? Do you think it's not a big deal, or do you think fuck that, it's bullshit? Like what?
I think it's something that people should try out.
Think so?
I think it's something
Everyone should give it a shot.
I think sometimes you need that. I think you need to talk to somebody that's not even like
Just doesn't know
anything. I've seen stuff, and I think it does help. I think you're getting into a space that you feel comfortable because they have no judgment on you. They have no clue who you are, but they're there to try to help you. So I think it's something that I've heard and I've seen stuff, and I think it is something definitely positive and never to be afraid of.
No.
Because you do have to talk to somebody. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody that is just not even in the picture.
Yeah, if you're afraid to go to like a friend or someone you know.
Yeah, sometimes, it's just what it is. That's. I think it's.
Would you ever consider doing it yourself?
Probably, yeah. If I really needed to, yeah, I probably would.
Yeah. If you need to. Do you feel like you don't need to now?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I feel it. How about you, DJ D-Lo?
Well, that kind of leads into my answers. You say, well, you're not sure. It's like, well, how do you get, you have to go get evaluated to see, well, do I even need therapy? And it's like, so no, I don't think everybody needs therapy. I think when it comes, what is therapy? What is brushing your teeth, right?
Yeah.
You're keeping your mouth clean.
Yeah.
So therapy
Yeah.
is keeping your mind clean, right? Some people are raised to brush their teeth every morning and every night. Some people are raised to keep a very healthy mind. Some people are not.
Yeah.
And they get older. They're like, fuck, I need help, right? So they
Yeah.
go get help. They don't have support. So they go get help.
Yeah.
Some people have support. And when traumatic things happen in their life, they have support.
They
They
have
don't
people
need
to
to
fall
go
back
some
on.
stranger in a dark room,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
going to tell them everything's going to be okay. But obviously, that's not all that therapy is. I think
Yeah,
therapy
of
is a
course, of
really
course.
great thing. There are people who have existential crises who really, can't even remember their own name.
Yeah.
That's, of course, it's great to have those people that can ground them and remind them of who they are and help guide them through lives, and who have studied the mind and go,
Yeah.
I know the reason that you're thinking this way. I mean,
it's because of this.
it's so helpful.
Yeah.
Makes the brain just click.
Absolutely. I would say along the same lines of obviously with you guys, but I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad idea at all, but maybe it's not a necessity to everybody. Like for one thing, I
Yeah.
would like to try therapy. To give it a shot. I'm very interested in seeing what I can gain from it because I'm sure the only thing I can do is gain something from it.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I believe in it. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of people, dude, who've been through way more shit than me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I've had my fair share of like, wow, I had really shitty days and I've been through a lot of bullshit in my life, but I just feel like some of my bullshit isn't anywhere near other people's bullshit.
Well, and it's
Yeah.
not a competition.
I
right?
know.
But relatively, you're on something, and the point is they're going to sit you down and ask you what's going on.
Yeah.
And if nothing's going on, then nothing's going on.
Exactly.
It's all good. Then your life is good. And here's the point. Should you be in therapy your whole life? Or should there be a point where like, I'm fixed.
Yeah.
My mind is clean.
Are
I
you ever
don't need to go to
fixed? Yeah.
therapy anymore. Right?
Maybe people eventually it just becomes a force of habit.
Yeah.
People just like going to therapy. They like making it part of their day. It's just a daily routine.
Or they find that they
You
just
know.
can't, or they just need it.
But like I said, dude, I feel very blessed with what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents didn't really process my emotions, but they were good everywhere else, and taught me right from wrong and all that shit. And I grew up in a healthy home and a loving home,
They didn't beat
full
us
of
or
support.
starve us.
I got my fair share of whoopings, but like we grew up in healthy home. Speaking for me, I can't speak for Jay, and you, but I feel like I grew up in a healthy home. So to go to therapy and tell them what I got mad at my sister today because she was being a dick. It's like,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's
Well,
not
they can
worth
also
it.
help you process like social situations.
know what?
too. Well, like, why are you mad at you? Why'd you get angry?
You
at
know
your
what?
sister?
You know what? And let me tell you something. There was a time. So one of my good buddies, he's a therapist. And one time in a situation in my life, I reached out to him. And I was kind of fired up at the situation. And I wanted to get his opinion. A fair opinion. And I told him, hey, I want another voice, or I want another mind. So hear me out. Tell him the situation. And I kind of want him to go, oh, validate my feelings and be like, yeah, fuck that. I was kind of heated. And he goes, well, and he starts making me question it.
Mhm.
Well, do you think that maybe, well, how do you feel about this? Is this a valid feeling? I'm like, I guess when you put it that way,
Right.
Yeah.
I guess when you say it that way,
I know.
it makes you feel a little different. And I'm kind of fired up still. Because I want to fucking do it my way. But I know there's some flaws to it now. So then eventually it's
Right.
like, old me, bro? We'll be like, fuck that, let's go.
Yeah.
New me, try to be new me, was like, I'm going to hear you out, man. And I'm very stubborn and very prideful. But I know you're right. And although I'm heated, I know the best case scenario, or the best thing to do would be to not do what I was going to do.
Right. Their job is to diffuse and lead
Yeah.
you on the path of least resistance.
So I will say that was my first, I felt like therapy moment. And my ex, dude, she was on that fucking therapy train. Like,
Yeah.
I meant like she was always telling me like, hey, it's good. And I believe her 100%.
Women love a man that goes to therapy. I don't know why, but
Damn. Well, you know what? I was also watching The Sopranos, and he goes to therapy, and I thought that also made
I
it
know
kind
that's
of
the
extra
opening
cool for me.
scene.
That made it kind of extra cool for me. So I was like, well, I guess I can. Maybe I should go to therapy.
It's good.
Very interesting, guys.
It's a good
Very.
question.
Yep.
I feel like
Moving
we're.
on to the hard section.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to burp. I feel. Damn. Okay. Hitting hard real quick. When was a time where you felt hopeless, and how did you overcome it?
When my car got towed. I got my car
Really?
towed because I forgot to pay my tags.
Wait, when was this?
Oh,
When
no.
was
So this
this?
was a long time ago.
Okay.
Krista was there. She remembers.
Whoa.
She remembers when I got my car towed. And yeah, that was pretty bad. So
No, which one
yeah,
was it?
That was a Jeep.
The blue one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, that one got towed. But yeah, but my parents helped me overcome that with helping me get it
Yeah,
out
yeah.
and figuring it out and stuff. And
Fuck,
so
dude, what a shitty moment, bro.
it sucked. But yeah, that was the moment I felt hopeless and how I
dude.
overcame it.
There you go. That's my boy. D-Lo.
Maybe the military. I had a couple
Shit.
times in the military, basic training, being in the field, and just being totally overexhausted, and just being like, I don't think I could move like another fiber of my being, but just that you have to, or you die.
Oh.
Yeah, it's some crazy times.
God damn.
They leave, and when you're in the middle of nowhere and you got gear and shit, I mean, no one's gonna carry your gear for you. They're not gonna carry you.
For sure.
Yeah, true.
They're just gonna leave you
You
there.
gotta fucking
Yeah.
figure it out.
Everyone else is doing the same thing.
Fuck. Woo! Sorry, bro. That was just a
And you're like,
bombshell.
no one. The reason you feel hopeless because you go, no one cares.
Yeah.
I'm in so much pain, and no one could possibly.
Yeah.
No one cares.
They're going through their own shit, bro.
Because they're going. They feel the
They're
exact.
like, sorry,
same
dude.
way.
I'm dying too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
That's time. I felt like for me, a time where I felt hopeless was when I don't know if I've told this story before on the podcast, but when I technically got kicked out of college. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. When I technically got kicked out of college. Did I tell you about that? Yeah. Cool. Well, real quick. When I got kicked out of college because I was being a fucking idiot and not going to class and doing what I was supposed to do and partying and bullshitting. Because of that, I got a bad GPA and I technically got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
So it said on my, I checked online and said, academically disqualified. And my heart just fucking sunk, dude.
Oh, no.
I can imagine.
And I was like, what the fuck am I going to tell my parents? They're paying for my school. We made a deal that they would pay for my first 4 years and let me stay in the dorms if I went to Sac State rather than East Bay. And I said, for sure, even though I never got to live in the dorm.
Nope.
But regardless, I fucked up. So I was like, I gotta tell my parents. I remember I told my parents, I was like, hey, fucking crying like a little wiener in front of them. I was like, Mom and Dad, I got kicked out of school. And my dad's like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? And I'm like, fucked up. And so my dad's like, well, you're gonna start fucking working with me. And you better start looking for classes at FLC. Because you got to keep going to school. And I
Yeah.
was like, I remember I drove to, what's it called, bro? On top of the world?
Yeah.
Or heaven? Heaven.
Just to
Heaven's
look
the one on the
out.
rock.
Yeah.
Heaven's the one on the rock, right?
Yeah.
It's called Heaven. It's a dope ass view. I went to heaven, bro, and I was just like, I just fucking sat in silence there, bro. And was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? What the fuck, dude? And then, so basically, I was gonna start working with my dad. I did start working with my father. But then, I remembered my theater teacher. She told me, she said, hey, if you audition for a play, I'll give you extra credit. And so I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, audition for the play? Hell yeah, I'll audition for the
That's why I
play.
became a theater kid.
Yeah. So I auditioned for the play. Funny thing, dude, I got the part. I got the part of the Tin Man.
Oh, shit.
But
I remember you
told-
telling me that.
I told the casting director, I said, hey, but I really don't want to do it. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I just did it for extra credit. So I told my teacher, I'm like, hey, did you input the extra credit? And she goes, actually, I didn't. So she puts the whatever 10 points of extra credit. And I fucking kid you not, bro. It perfectly perfectly got my GPA high enough to be on academic probation.
Oh,
10 man saved the day.
So I have one more chance.
knows to do the play.
I have one more chance to do the play.
You can thank theater.
Dude, I do think theater. And from that point forward, bro, I felt so fucking hopeless. And I'm like, wow, I fucked up. To, I got a second chance. And I got my shit straight, bro. I did.
Yep.
After that
You had to.
embarrassing and low moment, I got my shit straight. And I graduated. So it took me 6 years total. Wow, I can't anymore.
But you did it. It's good. It's a
There you
good
go.
question.
Thank you. Thank you. This one was kind of rando. Have you guys ever had a near-death experience?
I mean, I've been in a car accident. I don't know if it's near death.
Did
but-
you?
No, I don't know if I could say near death experience. I don't think so. I mean,
Never?
accident.
That's weird because you used to race.
I used to do stuff, but I don't think I ever did anything where I could probably have died. I mean,
Really?
I think I rolled a car, but I had a roll cage on it, so
Okay. So you felt comfortable.
safe. But I mean, still scary at the same time.
Jesus.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really think I've never like fallen asleep or anything or nothing like that. So not like falling asleep, but like almost died,
No.
like where you're like dead and they resuscitate you or some shit. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank God.
You can almost die in a car accident, though.
Yeah, I haven't been on the operating table or anything like that.
Yeah.
But some guy T-boned me running a stop sign.
I remember that.
Yeah, he
That
was
wasn't too long ago.
he was going about 30, to 40
Oh damn.
miles an hour, and I was going about 5 miles an hour going through the stop sign, and he spun me around 180, and I mean, I saw my life flash before my eyes. I thought I was gonna fucking die, and he just absolutely crushed the back end of my truck, and it was a nightmare, and blah blah blah. And he blamed me, and his car was totaled, and
Damn.
he was unlicensed and uninsured. Wasn't even supposed to be driving. So, I mean, and I looked. It was a blind corner, so I stopped the whole way. But you can be doing the right thing, but just do the right thing twice. I should have
Yeah.
just looked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's the stop sign that I have to go through every single day, leaving home and going back home. So now I'm just a little extra careful every time. And now I realize that everybody who uses that stop sign is really fucking careful because they
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah, bro. I'm hella careful now, too.
Yeah, they know. So that's a good question. Though. Oh wait, what about you?
Yeah.
For me, bro, I kind of, sort of, bro. I'll leave it up to you for interpretation. But I had two moments. One time when I was driving to the Bay Area from Folsom, and I took Niles Canyon, and when it was late at night, bro, and I fell asleep
Oh shit.
on Niles Canyon. It was at the part of the road where it's like curvy.
Yeah.
And, it has the plastic things.
little S.
Yeah, the little S of plastic. What's it
Yeah.
called? What's it called? I don't know.
Guardrail.
Guardrail. It's like a plastic thing, just a bunch of them.
Yeah. Oh, the little like poles.
Yeah, little poles, little plastic ones though. That.
Yeah.
that
I don't
bend
know
when
what
you
they're
hit it.
called exactly, but
So I fell asleep and I woke up and I was hitting them, going straight into the S part, where I would just go straight ran
Yeah.
into it. No cars. I woke up, turned the wheel hella quick, got back on the road, and drove the rest of the way.
oh shit.
That was fucking dude. I was terrifying, bro. Because when I woke up, I was in the middle, hitting the bumpers, and I was like, if there was a car there, bro. Oh shit! If there was a car there, I would have been dead.
Yeah. Or a divider.
Oh
or
yeah,
anything.
dude. Or divider, it would have been fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then one time, it's kind of weird to say, but not weird, but I was on a date once, and this girl, she had parked her car on the side of a street, and I was like, hey, why don't I just drive us to the movies, and you can leave your car here, and I'll just drive us back to drop. That way both of us don't have to drive, She's like, yeah, cool. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, okay, we'll just leave your car. And then she's like, wait. And then she's like, wait, I have a flat tire. We noticed her car has a flat tire. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me call AAA, so they can come fix it. And it was like probably like an hour and a half, 2 hour wait for a AAA. I was like, fuck. The movie's gonna start in like an hour. And then she's like, well, is it 24 hours? I'm like, yeah, it's 24 hours. She's like, okay, well, why don't we just do it afterwards, after the movie?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So after the movie,
Oh, I've heard about this story.
yeah,
I know
after
you're
the
talking
movie,
about
we're coming back down the main road, and we can see hella far. I'm like, where's your car? There's a lot of street ahead of us. And then I see cop lights. And I told her, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if the cop car was at your car?
Wouldn't it just be fucking
LOL.
hilarious? I know.
Ha. We drive closer. I'm like, where's your car at? And we see the cop car. She goes, where the cop car's at. And I'm like, fuck. Okay. And we drive past the cop car, and I look at her car, which isn't there anymore. All we see is a bunch of glass. A bunch of glass all over. And her car's gone. And I tell her, your car's gone. And she's like, I know. I'm like, oops, sorry. My bad. And the cop's still there. So I get out of the car and I talk to the officer. I'm like, hey, officer, do you think
Her
you can
car's
explain
gone.
where my friend's car is? He goes, yes. Actually, as a matter of fact, it just got towed. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, it's a spot.
Yeah.
He goes, what had happened is because she had parked kind of a little bit of ways away from an intersection.
Oh, wow.
And so what had happened is those two cars intersected. Bop! Fucking car went off, hit her car, smacked it, completely destroyed the back of her car. Trunk
Oh.
gone. Fucked up her car. And I was thinking, and I was like, when did this happen? I think he said like an hour or two ago. I was like, if we had waited for AAA, or if I was like, oh, I have the tools to fix your tire, and I was fixing her tire, who knows if that car accident happened, that car could have fucking hit me, and
You
I
would've
would have
got
been
hit. Oh,
I
yeah.
would have been killed immediately
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they would have killed you.
because it was the front right tire. And
You
her
guys
car-
were downtown.
yeah,
Dude.
and the car would have fucking rolled forward, run over me, dead.
Oh, yeah. What is wrong with people? That's wild, though.
Yeah, that's how it goes for near death experiences. And guys, just to close it out, it's fucking been a long one. Holy shit, hell yeah! To close it out, just a quick one. How satisfied are you with your current life?
I'm pretty satisfied.
Yeah.
I love my life. I mean, I'm happy. So,
Boom.
yeah.
That's good.
Short and simple.
I love it, dude. That's so good to hear.
To keep it short and simple, I'd say moderate. I think, obviously I'm happy with who I am and what I've built for myself, but I think there's always room for improvement, and I am working towards, we have a lot of creative projects, and I
Yeah.
have a lot of goals.
Yeah.
So still a lot
That's
to
awesome.
come.
Yeah.
I would say I think there's a lot I have to look forward to
There you go.
that I'm working on.
Mhm.
I'm satisfied, bro, but I know I can do more.
Yeah.
Like I feel honestly right now complacent. And so I need to keep fucking thriving and doing more and shit. So
The first step is recognizing that you're complacent.
Yeah.
As soon as you recognize you're complacent, you're not anymore.
So life's
Yeah.
good, man, but it can be better if I choose to make it better. I know it's just me holding it back.
Always.
So once I figure that out, I'll be good. But random fucking episode, man.
Yeah.
Guys,
Great episode.
thank you.
Great
Yeah.
question.
Well,
That
thank
was
you.
some real
Yeah.
shit, man.
There we go.
Good stuff.
I mean, and just to any other guy out there or any other person, we're here, man. We're new. We're a fun podcast, but follow our
Yeah.
social medias, interact with us. Where you need anything, we're fucking here.
And if you
Yeah.
want to have a conversation about men's mental health, feel free to reach out to us on the podcast.
Of course.
The
Oh, yeah.
Boxsesh podcast,
Always open
social
for
media.
Conversations. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Always appreciate it, guys. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And
See you on the next one.
Thanks.
first video. Peace out.
Peace out.
Oh, hold up. Hey. Are you ready for the next episode? Hey. Dan, did my camera stop a long time ago?
weed every day.
No.